These young people nowadays, they're great. They've got their own music, their own way of looking at things. They've got their own car, too. Camaro by Chevrolet, with command performance, as new as the new generation itself. Camaro is now like this convertible rally sport version with wide stance and big car engines you can specify.
The body style is called a rally sport. Other models, the premier model at the time was the Super Sport, and my first one was a rally sport with concealed headlights, and I do love the distinct look of that. It was aggravating in the wintertime with slush and snow, so you had to drive in the middle of winter with the headlight covers open, lest they fail to operate when they got full of ice and snow. With the convertible, it's much easier for a geezer to get in and out with the top down. A lot more places to hold on to and a lot less stooping. It's pretty much as the factory produced it, with the exception of the drivetrain. It had a small leak, and I had finally decided that it was time to get that fixed. So I dropped it off and for the repair. Over a period of about 4 weeks, that grew to a $15,000 engine rebuild. So the engine does have a different camshaft, a lot of chrome parts, aluminum heads, very responsive. So that's about the only upgrade I have done. The balance of it is keeping 50-year-old parts repaired and restored.
I think the big thing about the Camaro is its roadability. You feel a real sense of positive control with this car. It does what you want it to, when you want it to.
While in high school, I worked for Mills Chevrolet in Central City, and one of my jobs included cleaning up the first Camaro sold by Mills Chevrolet in the summer of 1967. A friend of mine had bought the car, and that drew my attention. When I graduated from Upper Iowa in 1968 and had joined SIPCO, my first brand new car was a 1968 Camaro. I owned that vehicle twice. We bought it new, had sold it to my brother, and we'd purchased a 1972 Camaro. Ultimately, I sold him that one and got the 1968 back, drove it for several more years. Then they were out of my life. Several years ago, while visiting my friend in Spencer, and he was in the process of rebuilding a early year Camaro, I think it was a 69, and I told him I would be interested in buying that when it was done. It was completed as a show car and well out of my price range. So about 2 years later, he pointed out this 68 Camaro to me as a possibility, and of course it didn't take long. It had had a surface restoration, but effectively it is from the factory. Originally purchased by a drag racer for his wife to drive. So I've owned this one now for about 4 years. Driving the car does attract a lot of attention. Friends of mine tease me about turning the heads of young girls. That actually doesn't happen, but it does turn the head of most guys over 65 years old. But I'm looking forward to ordering a 2018, and my goal is to have one 50 years apart from my first new car.
Sometimes I envy them, but not when I'm in my SS350 Rally Sport. Does that make me part of the new generation? Try a Camaro.